look around you. Where you are right now, as you're watching this, look around your house. There are tools you have you're not using that can actually fetch you a whole lot of funds.
Forget about what people are saying. Don't listen to what people are saying. What people say about you or think about you is none of your business.
Many entrepreneurs want to build a business at the same time feed from the business. It cannot work. In Lagos,
but you just get to do something. Stop waiting for the manna to fall from heaven.
Never you at any point think you have 100% strength. It's not possible. So as a leader, you focus on your strength 100%, then your weakness, you get someone to fill it in. Now, the person you are bringing in, ensure that the person's weakness is your strength.
You have to come with something to the table. So what are you coming with as a woman? What are you bringing? Is it your intellect? Is it your beauty? We all know that beauty doesn't help anybody. If not, I'll be where Dangote is today.
Please, if you are listening to me, don't try and sell what is not sellable if you don't have the funds to push it.
Thank you for connecting with Simeon Ononobi today. Live sessions hold every Tuesday and Friday at 5 p.m. Please turn on post notifications for live updates.
Hello, welcome.
Hi, Simeon. Good evening.
Hello, so hello, welcome to Connect with Simeon Ononobi. Today's another special edition. I have a lot of great news to share with a lot of people. We've been working very hard to make sure that a lot of people get at least daily bread, a lot of people get their jobs back. We're working on a lot of things, and I'm going to be sharing a lot of those things today. But I must not take away from the fact that we have a special guest today in-house. He is Oluyomi Ojo. He is someone very, very dear to me, and he's someone that has done something magnificent, turning just a regular print shop into a multi-million dollar company. We'll be talking to him today, and he's going to be sharing his experiences, because a lot of people used to think when you say tech-enabled, when you say tech businesses, it has to be one software that you build that will do magic and all that. But this guy took a regular print shop. The normal print shop. I don't know if you've been to Shomolu in Lagos. The normal print shop where you walk into the store, you give them your stuff and they print. He made it into something that was, that is great. That is even talked about in Silicon Valley in America. So we're going to be talking to him today. So I'm going to be welcoming you to the studio. Welcome today, Oluyomi Ojo.
Hi, Simeon. Good afternoon. Trust you are good today. So we'll be willing to share a bit of what we know and take it forward from there.
Cool. Oluyomi, thanks for joining me. I know it was such a short notice to bring you into the studio, but we have a lot to talk about. So let me just take a brief into what this program is about. So we are trying to celebrate Nigerians that are doing awesome things. We've not been celebrating our own enough. A lot of people are doing some amazing stuff out there, and I've been bringing them in-house to showcase and to also teach and learn from them what they've done right in a hustle environment like Nigeria, in a hustle environment like Africa, where you have to do everything yourself. You have to provide your own power, you have to provide your own electricity, you have to provide your own staff, you have to, to get a loan from the bank is impossible. You have to do every single thing yourself. So how people have made it so far is something that is really amazing. And so I decided, you know what, let me call a few of my friends like you, like all the other top guys doing some amazing stuff. I mean, off the top of my head, I know about 300 people doing amazing stuff. And so we bring them together, get the show on, record it and also put it out there as content so people can actually learn from you guys. What makes you guys tick? How do you go wake up every morning and go back to work and think to yourself, you're going to do something amazing. So guys, thank you for joining in. If you have any questions while Oluyomi talks about his journey, please, as usual, just drop your question and we'll take those questions. Oluyomi, so tell us, how did you start? Where did you start from? Tell us your journey.
So it's a bit difficult to actually tell the story of Printivo without going way back. When I say way back, I mean going way back to the days before my university days when I just left secondary school. I happen to come from a family where we're all artistically talented, especially the boys. So we grew up with the ability to draw, sketch, paint, and all that. My brothers were also very, very talented. So I left secondary school, and this was around the time when one of the biggest way to say hello to anyone is to send that person a greeting card, a physical greeting card. You know those days of handmade greeting cards that you're going to do customized for people and all that stuff. And I mean, it made a lot of sense then. And so I left secondary school and I was actually doing that during the time I was waiting to get admission into the university. And I remember a neighbor we had then who was schooling in LASU literally said to me that, you know what, these handmade cards that you're selling, that you make, if you turn it into a product, like beyond people just coming to you to say, oh, I want to say hello to somebody, and then you make a custom card for that person. What if you make these handmade cards ready-made and then you sell it to students on campuses? So you're not having to wait for somebody to come to you and say, I have someone who is celebrating a birthday and I want to give you a card to give to that. I want to make a card to give to that person. And I remember I made those cards that day. Collected 300 naira from my mom, and this was year 2000. Yeah, 2000, November 2000. So I collected 300 naira from my mom. I bought the cards, the markers, all the necessary things, and I made the cards. And I went to LASU with this neighbor, and I sold cards to students in Lagos State University. And by the time we were leaving LASU on that fateful Saturday, I had sold 1,000 naira worth of greeting cards. Now, I had put in 300 naira for my mom, and I had sold 1,000 naira worth of greeting card. For a 17-year-old boy, that was huge. And I mean, this was, again, the naira had a lot of value 20 years ago. So I left LASU with a gross profit of 700 naira, like 70% GP for that age, and I was 17. So I got back to the house and I just took the 300 naira and I gave it back to the person that gave it to me. I paid him back without interest. But that experience, I couldn't stop going back. So I kept making the cards and then going back to LASU, and I built a business out of that. And fast forward 3 years later, I gained admission into the university, and I also took the same business there. And I mean, for a boy at the age of 21, I could save up to 81,000 naira back then, and that really was a lot of money. And I got into university, and was selling the same greeting cards while schooling, was mixing the business with my academics. And GSM technology, the mobile phones was just catching up. So the major cities had mobile phone connection: Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt, and then the various cities started connecting. And by 2004, Ogbomoso, where Lautech, was located, connected, and something significant happened. So immediately Ogbomoso connected. The sales of greeting cards, which was like the core business that I had on campus, dropped. There was like a sharp decline. It just went, and I realized that people just wanted to like send wonderful message to the next person, and they realized that they can send SMS. I think SMS was 15 naira back then. That they can just send an SMS message for 15 naira instead of making a greeting card for 100 naira. And they would take the greeting cards and look at the lyrics on my greeting cards and just copy the lyrics, and that's it. And that business was clearly going to die a natural death. So I moved from that business, moved into custom t-shirts, made custom t-shirts for for some semesters, and then moved into graphic design. Started learning graphic design. I became the number one print guy on campus. So if you're running for election, you want to make poster, I'm your go-to guy. If you have a show on campus, I'm the guy you want to go to print your tickets, to print your flyers, to print your swags, and to print your posters. I remember even doing my own show on campus, and people had to come, come party all night, and we made money from that. But print was just something that I loved to do. And when we left the university, by the time we were going to leave school, I had interned in an ad agency. So I learned a lot about how the design business works, how branding works, how advertising works, and how to run an ad agency. And I left school in 2008. And some months later, I said, you know what, let me just try this entrepreneurship thing out. And I rented an office and I moved in with a team of 2 people. And we founded a design company called Urban Base. And the business grew. We worked with really, really fantastic brands over time. We worked with under First Bank, Pension Alliance, Pfizer. For an agency that only had 4 employees, we really, really worked with some really big multinational brands. And just as we were doing that, I realized that our biggest headache as a company was print. So as an ad agency, you work with multiple vendors. So you have the photographer, the sound guy, the radio jingle vendor, the guy that shoots your video, the animator, the illustrator, like multiple external vendors. But the most difficult guys to work with were the printers. It's either the print doesn't arrive on time, or when it arrives, the quality is terrible, and no one is ready to take responsibility. We were literally micromanaging the print partners. It was so bad that we became printers ourselves. We were literally sitting in their facility to supervise the printing. Even though you've paid them 100%, you still have to go through that to get it out on time and to get top quality. At some point in 2013, I said to myself, you know what, I'm done doing this. I think we need to start our own printing company. And that was how the idea of starting Printivo came. And this was around the time that Jumia, Konga, Iroko TV, several e-commerce companies were springing up. And for us then, it just only made sense that we should have a technology component around it. Because realistically, I thought about it that if I had problem, even though we run an ad agency, managing print companies, getting print orders on time, top quality and all that, even getting pricing, it simply means that there are thousands, hundreds of thousands of small businesses out there having the same problem. So it was clear that, even though we're trying to set up a print company that will solve our own problem, there's a very huge market out there, people that have the similar problem that you have, and they don't have access to printers, or they walk up to a printing company and say, I want to print 200 flyers for an event, and the print company says, we don't print 200 because it's too small, we only print 1,000. Or the guy is like, I need to print 100 copies of business card, and they're like, the minimum you can print is 500. So we saw a market, right, and that was how printing was born. And it was pretty simple what we did. We because we've actually done this as a business, we've actually done this even before adding tech to it. So we know how it works. All we needed to do is just to build tech interface for it, so that customers actually have something to interact with. And that was how Printable was born.
Wow, I mean that's a great journey. Let's quickly go through Printivo. So you created a print shop, which was print my own product, but you just saw a lot of other people had this problem, and you've added technology to it in such a way that, I mean, your name is everywhere. I mean, I was in the Valley and everyone was talking about Printivo.
For real.
And it's like, wait a minute, this guy has done impressed a lot of people. So how did you build this? And you started raising funds, and investors started coming in to look at it. It's just a print shop, for crying out loud. What was different? What was different? What made Printivo different?
I think the key thing for us from day one was that we said to ourselves that the only way to survive as a company is if we delight customers, if we actually give customers the happiness that they want. And mind you, we launched at a time that pay on delivery was the key thing. If you order anywhere, the customer is exonerated of the responsibility of the convenience of ordering online. Like, there's no risk on the side of the customer. The entire risk is borne by the business. But when we were entering e-commerce, it was clear that every product Printable ships is going to be a customized product. So if a Jumia or a Konga can actually take your order and ship to you without pay, and if you turn it down, they're just going to collect the item and ship it to another customer. For us, it's a completely different case. If we ship any item to you, it's already customized for you, because you're either ordering a business card or a letterhead or T-shirts or whatever. Everything is custom built, custom made for you. So if you order using pay on delivery as your payment option, it means that if you turn down that order, which is very, very common, where customers are like, oh, I was only trying to see if it works. Oh, I didn't know that it will be delivered. It was clear that we can't build a business. So we told ourselves from day one that this business is not going to build its trust layer on pay on delivery. Rather, it will build it on efficient service for our customer. And we had just three things to say about that, right? That we'll make it right at all costs. When I say we'll make it right at all costs, simply means that if you order anything on Printable and you've paid, we'll ensure that we deliver based on the promise that we promised you in terms of delivering on time and delivering top quality. If for any reason the item gets to you and you have issues with it, you already have our Printable promise, which says that 100% replacement of items you don't like. Now, if you then say, oh, even after it was replaced for you, you're like, nah, I'm not taking this. We then have the third layer of this, which is 100% refund, right, of what you've ordered. And with that, we're able to build very strong trust with our customers, and people couldn't stop talking about it. We also have like some of the most connected customer base. Our customers are very connected to us. So what you see is that if a customer orders something on Printable and it gets to him, more often than not, it takes a picture of that item and shares it on Twitter, Instagram, and say that, oh, my business card just arrived from Printable. My T-shirt just arrived from Printable. My mug, my custom mug that I put my baby's picture on just arrived from Printable, and I love it. So we had all these little things that build trust. And finally, and I tell people that up till today, Printable doesn't use an external ad agency for our marketing comms, right? Everything is done internal. Again, this is about the fact that we've had years of experience building other plans for people. I've worked in the advertising industry for 7 years of my life before going into Printable. So if you could build a brand for other people, why can't you build it for yourself? And I think we had a lot of organic marketplace acceptance, basically because what our solution actually solves a very typical pain point, especially for small scale businesses, right? Yeah, and I mean, the other thing is I'm just more of a community person. So the fact that both the tech industry in particular, I'm very, very committed to community efforts and all. So one way or the other, everyone is always saying, "Oh, Yomi, yeah, talk to Yomi," and that in a way built very strong relationship beyond the brand itself, but also for me as a person. For example, when we were in Silicon Valley for 500 startup, I'm literally talking to everybody I run into to say, you know what, you should start taking a bet on Nigerian startups. Listen, Nigerian startups have this. Oh, have you heard of this company? Have you heard of Paystar? I'm literally trying to just like sell. Have you heard of Piggybank? Have you heard of Thank You Cash? I'm literally just telling everybody about other big companies in Nigeria, because I've come to realize that sometimes it makes a lot of sense if community or an ecosystem excel together, right?
Yeah.
So you are out there and you find opportunities, like just beyond selling yourself, like just sell other people, and it's those little things that I figure that those is just little things that
Give success.
that comes together. So I run into founders and they're like, oh yeah, I was in Silicon Valley, and somebody was like, oh yeah, you were talking about our company there. I'm like, yeah, I'm always talking about nobody's company. I'm always telling them like, take a bet on the just startup. So again, it's just those little things that connects to form the network. Yeah.
So I'm going to be like very, very open, and this is to my fans, to everybody watching. Yomi was one of those that was responsible for us actually getting into 500 Startup.
Wow.
I say a big thank you to Yomi. You spoke highly of Thank You Cash, and during the interviews, we were told someone from Nigeria was actually contacted, and he spoke highly of us, and thanks for that. And for me, that is the most important.
So here's the thing, right? Even before we went into 500 Startup, we had other founders who also were in the valley, who got into accelerators, various accelerators. And I remember Oluyomi Ojo of Sure Gift, right? Literally routing for us in the valley and talking about us in the valley, to the point that during our own interview, it was mentioned that, oh, XYZ person also spoke highly about you guys. For me, it's about when people hand you the rope to actually pull yourself up. You got to set that rope down. To just set that rope down once you're up. So it's just what it is.
I mean, that's why we're actually doing this. We need to help ourselves to get to that point.
Yeah.
We cannot just keep sitting down waiting for Americans or waiting for people to come and help us pull ourselves up.
No one's going to pull anybody out.
Exactly. So I mean, to dig deeper, I think I have a friend who just asked the question. So let's quickly just take that question.
Okay.
The business is quite capital intensive and usually a deterrent to starters. How were you able to overcome this? This is Michael Oluyomi.
Okay. Hi, Michael. So print is actually very capital intensive. And
can I just take a second leg to this question so that others listening, it's not just print. Most other businesses that are capital intensive. So from your experience, you'll probably be able to like solve so many other personal problems. How did you?
So remember that I started the business before Printivo, and over the course of the years of running this business, I had savings. And so when we were starting Printivo, I literally just emptied my personal savings into Printivo. Maybe today, if I'm doing this again, I probably might not be that open to risk, because I literally emptied out to launch Printivo. So I put I think about $50,000 in cash in those days into Printivo, and the entire first year of the company, as a matter of fact, 18 months. So the first 18 months of the company, we were bootstrapping, no external funding, and for those who knew that time, the product line were very, 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 very slim. So it was basically paper products, right? We couldn't sell anything else outside paper products. And then we had to buy equipment, buy bikes, buy a lot of things, rent, and several things. But we did that for 18 months, during which I did not draw any salary. It was just a case of let's keep grinding, let's keep grinding until we started then raising money from external investors, and then we began expanding the product category. So we moved into large format product, gift items, custom gift, expanded the SKUs, and so if I'm to put that in a very simple way, the first fund you got to bring your business more often than not is your own money, especially if you don't have what I call earned credibility in the industry, right? Earned credibility is what is that you've earned it, you've built something, you've scaled something, and people who are prospective investors or industry expert that can give you a platform, they've seen what you've built, and they're literally going to say, you know what, because he's done that before, right? And even though he failed, sometimes earned credibility can come out of failure, where you've built something and you've put all your all into it, but you failed not because you messed up, but because of circumstances beyond you. For example, market forces, bad investors, you know, various kind of things, policies, typical example, OPay and the rest. So people then say, oh, he's built something before. He knows this thing. Yeah, he failed, but he's built something before. Now, this thing he wants to build, I can trust him, right? But that wasn't the case when we were starting Printable. So you have to like bring your own cash to the table at some point, which is why you need to understand that the early stage, start as nimble as possible, especially if there is no other people's money, OPM. Start as nimble as possible. You will learn a lot, and by the time you are taking external investment, you know exactly what you want to do with it.
Beautiful.
And I guess that answers the question.
Yeah, so beautiful. So guys, you're listening to Yomi, straight up from Yomi. Start very nimble. Start as small as possible. Yes, it's a big business. Anything you can borrow. Anything you can, get leverage on it. Build networks, build relationships, so that people can actually help you out. Printivo does all our printing. I mean, everything that we do is Printivo, and I have luxury of knowing the CEO's phone number, so I just call, hey, Yomi, we need this delivered, and bam, Yomi gets somebody to make sure that happens. So please, you can go to printivo.com if you want to print your stuff, and that's how it's done. But like I said, this is always a connecting tissue for me. If you want to meet Yomi, you want to get some. Yomi is always happy to give out advice, help other people grow. He has done it for us. He's going to do it for other people. So if you want to connect with Yomi and you have very, very real reasons, not just waste his time, I'll be happy to create that connection between you and him. So Yomi, I'm going.
Yeah, and you can also find me on Twitter. Oluyomi Ojo at Oluyomi Ojo. If you send me an email, if you mention me and say, oh, I need to send you a DM, I'm going to open my DM with immediate effect, and have a conversation. It's like the best place to actually get me.
Cool. So to call Yomi, please go to Twitter. I'm not a Twitter person, but Yomi is a Twitter person. So go to Twitter and get him. Whatever help you need, he will be happy to reach out to you. So. Yomi, I'm going to ask you a question. This is something that's been bothering me a lot, and throughout this year, I told myself this is what I'm going to focus 100% of my time in, and that is what I learned even in the Valley. Most companies, I don't see competition most times in the Valley. I see collaboration. I see people collaborating as if it is going out of fashion. So you see, when you go deeper into things, you see that Microsoft is investing in Facebook. You see that
Microsoft has shares in Apple. As a matter of fact, Microsoft built Apple out when Apple was this close to dying.
Exactly.
Right?
So you ask yourself, why is it not happening in Africa? Why are we not coming together to actually bail ourselves out? What is that? How they call it, village people, like they say it on Twitter, on Facebook. What is that village as the start? Exactly, that's following us where we need to be. It is my own or nothing else. I
think the first thing that African founder, and I'm seeing a lot of changes in this. It was very bad when I mean in the early days, right? Especially the early days of e-commerce, everyone competed with everybody, and it was that competition that actually nearly this close to destroying e-commerce. I'm of this very strong opinion that the toxic competition between the early entrants in Nigerian e-commerce sector is actually part of why that sector really took a lot. It's taking longer than necessary and more effort to actually take off the ground. People literally were competing, and it was like it was a race to the bottom. And it's born out of scarcity mentality, like the belief that there is no enough customer, so I got to grab all the customers that is available. The customer doesn't have a deep pocket, so I have to ensure that all the money in the pocket of the customer comes to me. And then after this customer, there's literally no other customers out there, right? So I have to hold on to this customer and ensure that this customer is mine and mine, and this customer doesn't buy from anyone else. Now, I'm not going to do it maybe by providing quality service, but I'd rather do it by trying to lock the customer in and outcompete the other guy, right? As against bringing more customers into the fold, right? Getting more customers that are offline, online, getting more customers that don't trust e-commerce or trust technology online, and get them to trust technology. Everyone is saying, oh, we have like the total number of customers that are available is XYZ amount of customer. How do I get the lion's share of that customer? No one is thinking that, oh, what of the guys that are not online? How do we come together as a community and ensure that those ones that are not online, we get them online, so that we can have more people more customers in the pool, right? But like I said earlier, this is changing a lot. And if you look at the fintech companies, which is one of the examples I would cite, everybody's running on everybody's API, right? I was telling somebody that the entire fintech industry is more like just a bunch of APIs. I mean, with then each company building their own over that. So you're paying somebody with your credit card, and the moment you make that money, it's going to route to Nibs, InterSwitch, go through Visa for some reasons, come back to Paystack. Or you've done this thing on Flutterwave, and then it goes all the way, and at some point, a certain amount of money will go to Flutterwave also, or Paystack. Or you're doing a transaction on Piggy Bank, right? And you realize that a certain part of Piggy Bank is being done using Flutterwave, certain part is being done using Paystack. I mean, these are not like this is what is happening. These are just typical examples that I'm giving. So eventually, companies are beginning to learn that, oh, we need to work together, and like the future of African tech doesn't depend on competition. It depends on competition, which is cooperating together and then competing over that. It's actually possible to work together and still compete, right? And that is the point where you don't actually have toxic competition. I mean, APIs were born out of companies willing to say, you know what, I've built it. You can then build your own over what I've built. Exactly. That is, as far as I'm concerned, that is the origin of API. And we've seen how far that little set of line of codes have actually taken businesses. So, like I said, and again, it's just industry experience, right? Time is beginning to teach us that it's not about you, it's about us. And eventually, Nigerian startups eventually figure out to work together, or they fail together. And then the collaboration will extend beyond Nigeria into other African countries. But this is actually born out of that scarcity mentality that, man, I'm going to keep these customers to myself. I'm not willing to share customers with anybody. I just want to hold every single, I'm not just customer, like any other resources that I have access to, like it's got to be me. I remember vividly those days, like people were ordering investors, like people were ordering investor meetings, you know. And I bet you remember those days, like you would have a situation where somebody will fly into Lagos and is like, I want to meet the most interesting entrepreneurs in Lagos, and someone is going to meet with that guy and just tell that guy, oh no interesting people, like people, but now it's a completely different ball game. Like people are literally going out there to sell other Nigerian startups. I mean, I remember what Osta in Nigeria did in the early days. Like would fly to Silicon Valley and go tell people in YC that start taking a bet on Nigerian startup. And this was a time when not a single African company made it into YC. Right? It would write articles and say, hey, you've got to start inviting Nigerian and African entrepreneurs to Silicon Valley stages, right? Put them on the panel, hear them out. These guys have value. It will write email to people like Michael, Paul Graham, and say, you've got to start taking a bet on Nigerian startups. And today people are actually reaping the fruit of it. So it's those little things that is teaching everyone now that there's actually a lot of gain in collaboration. You can compete, not a problem, right? You can compete, not a problem, right? But you should be able to collaborate.
Yeah,
right?
I totally agree, 100%. Like with Bill, thank you, Cash. Almost all on collaboration. Trying to figure out, what other businesses, what other customers want, and try and feed it. Presently, we're partnering with, insurance companies. We're partnering with the like of you guys. Trying to give that customer we have other products that they would need, and that's how we built up. We cannot form a print company tomorrow. We can't form a payment company tomorrow. We can't form a logistics company tomorrow. We need to work together to be able to actually build it.
As a matter of fact, when you mentioned logistics, I remember when almost every e-commerce company in Nigeria wanted to have a logistic company, and people literally just burnt millions of dollars building logistic arms of their company. I remember also when the e-commerce businesses, everybody wanted to have their own payment gateway. That was like the funniest one. And people literally started building second companies inside their own companies, trying to build payment gateway in an economy that is still trying to convince customers that they can order online. Right? People were actually building payment gateway, and a lot of cash went into cash, time, all those stuff. Today, Flutter will pay Star KPI, and you are good to go.
Yeah.
Right? So
it has even caused a lot of problem because I was one of those that was burnt then when everybody started throwing money into payment gateways, and I had a payment startup, and I'm like, wait, did I just get a call from the policymakers that I have to pay 100 million? Like, why? Because somebody dumped 100 million, and I'm like, you're killing the industry, you're destroying everything because you're like just creating competition and policies that don't make sense based on your arrogance, and that has actually almost killed the industry. So how do we start from scratch to start rebuilding what we almost destroyed with our own hands? How do we start recollaborating? How do we start coming together? Is it building?
I think this is the first step to it. Conversations, right? What I've seen in other markets and what I've learned about how other markets moved forward from whatever they were used to that weren't working to what work is that they actually started having those conversations, right? People are like, oh, let's talk about this. Why are we doing this? So the fact that we're actually having this conversation now about collaboration, about going together, about scaling together, I'll start an example. I know a couple of Indian entrepreneurs running business in Nigeria, and the level at which these guys share resources is another level, right? One Indian guy is going to fly into Nigeria and is starting a business, and he's going to use somebody's office who has already built a business in Nigeria, right? He's going to use funds from a fellow Indian to start up, right? He's probably going to build something that supplies this other new guy something he needs. So think about it. Real estate is sorted, finance is sorted, first customer is sorted, right? And they will scale from that. Right? I'm looking at the point where African entrepreneurs and Nigerian entrepreneurs will start entering markets, and together they will start, using shared resources to scale quickly. But the good thing is that we are having those conversations now. Now, these conversations, we were not having them in 2013. We're not having them in 2014. The second one is availability of talents, right? Few years back, it's very difficult to know anybody that has worked in 5 African tech companies. I mean, in 2014, you want to hire a CTO, you've got to go to South Africa to go and hire that guy. Or 2013, right? And beyond that, almost everyone had their tech team outside Nigeria. We had our developers in Israel. I think virtually everybody from Konga, Iroko, Jumia, everybody that were running tech businesses had dev teams outside Nigeria. But it's a completely different case today. And we are gradually seeing guys who have probably worked, move to this company, move to this company, move to this company. And these guys are right. So the ecosystem that was fragmented, right, is gradually coming together. So if I've worked in like 3 places and I'm now working in a new place and I have a strong relationship where I'm coming from, I'm not going to tell my new employer that, oh, this thing we are trying to build, right? Where I worked before, they built it and they have API. Why reinvent the wheel? Let's take API and drop this thing and build something else. So the conversation, the experience, and common knowledge is actually going to be part of the things that will change how we look at this scarcity thing. Yeah.
Guys, I hope you enjoy the conversation and I hope you're learning something from this. And if you have any comments, I see a lot of comments. I see a lot of comments coming in. I see a lot of people pushing in, conversation and all that. Please drop your questions, and we'll be happy to have you join this conversation. So, having said that, there's a lot of things that we can drag out of this conversation. From collaboration, like personally, currently we're working with a lot of companies. We're working with banks. We're working with multinationals. We're going to be announcing some strong partnerships in coming days. We're also working with you guys to push some of the services that you guys do. And the idea for us is simple. If I chop, you chop. If I make money, you make money. Why do I have to reinvent the wheel? At the end of the day, our common goal has always been that we're fighting for one customer. All of us, every single person is fighting for one customer. It's one customer that's going to be the one that will have need business cards. It's one customer that's going to need those clothes. It's one customer that's going to need those shoes, those bags. So why customers? Why keep customers? And so collaboration is the key. Now, if you're going to dive a bit into it, you talked about talent, you talked about collaboration, you talked about the ecosystem, becoming better and more vibrant. How do we teach? How do we train? Because we have a bunch of people that see, in quote, us. Let me put us as in those guys that have already gone ahead and started companies and all that, and see, hey, tomorrow you announce you've raised 20 million. This person has announced you raised 2 million. I actually have a policy never to announce anymore when I raise funds. The reason is because it gives a false impression.
Yeah.
A wrong impression on what is actually happening in your ecosystem. As people see this money as coming to your pocket. So you find that it's not going to be a bad thing when new entrants, new entrepreneurs just want to come and raise money. So somebody walked up to me the other day and said, "Hey, be my mentor." And I said, "Yeah, no problem. What's your business about?" And we start talking about the business. Next thing I hear is, "I want to raise $2 million." And I'm like, "Did you think about it before you spoke to me about it? Because you're saying you want to raise 900 million naira. Like, if not a billionaire, you want to raise a billionaire. What are you going to do with it? Like, have you ever thought about it? You don't have a business. You don't have anything on the table. You want to raise a billionaire. What would you use a billionaire to do? Your salaries might probably be from start 500,000 naira, but you're raising a billionaire. Like, don't you think there's a disconnect between it? But because he heard over the news that Oluyomi Ojo raised $1 million. Simeon raised $20 million. Obi of Kobo raised $40 million. Like, Andela raised $100 million. So why should I not raise my own million dollars. So how do you actually train and teach? How do you get these people back onto the table to say, hey guys, calm down, these things are different? I've lost your audio. I think there's a connection issue. Better now. Your audio seems to be bad.
How about now?
Yeah, better now. Yeah.
Okay, there are many platforms of actually doing industry knowledge sharing. There's the informal one. There's the formal one. There are few organizations that are starting to actually teach people this. For example, Founders Institute, right? I tell founders, I'm like, you want to start something, go to something like Founders Institute and just, learn how it's done. Understand that this thing is not shiny. It might look shiny in PR. It's not shiny. You are going to go inside and you'll be grinding like this is your life depend on it. The second one is mentoring. And then the third one is actually going to work in a startup. Trust me, if you work in a startup for 5 years, you will never ever see money raised as money don't come. Because you'll be working in a startup and you guys will raise $5 million and management will still be telling you there's no money. And you're asking yourself that, what's happening? And management will literally say to you, you don't understand. Like every single couple raised has a need tied to them. There's what's going to customer acquisition. There's what's going to go to hiring people. There's what's going to go to expanding from this current market into 5 other African markets. So if because the company has raised money, the next conversation you want to have is 100% salary increment, you are not understanding. I don't know if you get it. So people you've got to work in startups to actually understand how it is. You want to take formal training, possibly, for example, platforms like Founders Institute, and finally, mentors. Sometimes you are like, oh, I want to raise a lot of money, and the mentor is just going to tell you that, this business you're building is shit. And the person you're like, what? You're like, yeah, this business you're building is nonsense. Like, there's complete nonsense. Like, would you yourself invest in this business? And if you can't answer that question, if you're like, oh yeah, you're patting yourself in the back, I will invest in it. The guy is like, okay, no problem. So how much do you think you get back as a return when you invest in it? Because investor money, and these are the things I tell people, raising funds is not dash money. You know what they call dash money? It's not dash money. Someone's actually betting on what you're building with a future return in mind. It could be in form of exit, it could be in form of profit sharing, it could be in form of maybe when you are acquired or your IPO or whatever. But this person is actually putting it in because of future returns. So I think these ways people will actually learn that there's nothing sexy about building and running a startup. We are running out of time. I think we have 10 more minutes left, Abby.
Yes, we have about 10 more minutes. So we need to quickly take some questions, comments. So perception, Justin said something. Justin said, the perception of startups in Nigeria needs to move from raising funds to really build businesses that solve real problems. Thank you, Justin, for that comment. I mean, let's finalize by saying, yes, you've talked about Founders Institute, you've talked about so many other things. And I mean, I really appreciate you for coming on board. We need to actually start helping ourselves build something that lasts forever. I have sat down with my team and looked at it and said to ourselves, wait, we can't build this thing. I mean, I've learned from my previous bad experiences, we can't build these things alone. We need people, both as co-founders, both as staff, both as community ecosystem friends. You need people to actually build a better Nigeria. Now, but government is not even getting close to us, so policy is not going to reach us anytime soon. But how do we silence that noise and actually focus on building something? Where is Printifo thinking about in the next 3 years, 5 years? What is your vision of Printifo?
You are going to make me open up our plans, which is a bit difficult.
Okay, I mean, you don't have to. You don't have to.
But one of the things I'll say is that the last 5 years of running Printable has really taught us a lot about what works and what doesn't work, about how to do it and how not to do it. And so the next 5 years is going to be focused on doing more of what works based on knowledge we've learned, and less of what doesn't work. The place that we'll be doing more of what scales and less of what doesn't scale. Yeah.
So, JC, I just wanted to quickly cut you so that you can answer this question before we go.
Yeah.
What point should a startup consider?
Yeah. So the first thing is your business is in 3 stages and is in multiple stages, and the point where you consider raising funds is there's no direct answer to that, and I will explain to you. There are businesses that will raise some money that you cannot build the MVP without raising money. Think about it that you want to build SpaceX. Before you even start building the MVP, you would have to raise money.
Yeah,
right?
$10 billion.
Yeah, exactly. You have to raise money, right? Or you want to build a Tesla, or you want to build a bank, right? Because you would still have to take the license, and that license alone is what some people will raise and go and shout hallelujah. They've raised Series D. So it depends on the stage you are in, but one of the things you need to understand is that whatever you are raising must connect with the stage that you are, and it should always be focused on a certain type of execution. So you are trying to build your MVP and you want to raise money, and you state it clearly, we are using this money to build a product, in which very few people can actually raise money in that stage. You must have one of what we said earlier, that acquired credibility. Like credibility that you built over time, right? If Elon Musk wakes up tomorrow and says, "Oh, I want to build a bank and I want to raise $500 million US," in 1 week he would raise that money.
10 seconds, he will get it. In 10 seconds.
In 10, like some people, it will be oversubscribed.
Yeah.
Right. The founder of Uber messed up, and he left, and he's like, "Yeah, I want to build Uber for kitchen."
400 million right. Next morning.
Sharp. So you need to actually understand. Again, it has to do with the stage that you are in. But each stage, you must align what you are raising to what you are building. To put it in a way that we can all get it. The best time to actually go raise more money and like go out to raise money is when you've actually figured out your minimum viable product. You've built something, it's in people's hand, they are using it. You've been able to prove that you are solving a pain point, and that people love what you've built. And what you want to then do now is I want to raise money to scale what I've built from 20 happy customers, or let's say 200 happy customers, in a market where I can acquire 200,000 happy customers, but I can't do that because I don't have money for infrastructure, for marketing, and for talent. So I'm raising money to do this. That's the best place to consider raising funds. So when you do that, you get to a point, you've saturated the market, you want to expand into other markets, you start thinking of raising some money again. And it could be a combination of equity, debt, it could be equity, debt, or a combination of both. But the bottom line is that there is no specific answer to this, but it's startup specific, but you have to raise to execute. Yeah.
Thank you very much. So at this point, I want to quickly thank you and appreciate you for coming. I have some important announcements. We're going to be doing some partnerships with Printivo, and very soon you're going to be hearing about that partnership. Hopefully by Friday's program, that partnership will be tight and ready to go out, and we'll be getting some wonderful discounts from Printivo, and we're publishing that platform. So if you want to print your stuff, go to printivo.com right now, and you can set it up. You can print your stuff and stuff like that. Now, also, I posted something yesterday. Oluyomi, we are going to be creating a solution that would allow people to earn up to 200,000. And we're trying to guarantee that. So you end up 200,000 monthly, and we're trying so hard to guarantee that. Even if you fall on the 100,000 monthly rate, it will be good for you during this COVID period, because we realize that a lot of people have lost their jobs. And so we built a layer on top of our platform to be able to help people get more jobs and actually create businesses. So we're launching what we call the Thank You Cash Ambassadors. And they're going to be, you'll be seeing it very soon. The platform is almost up. We're going to be launching something, and it's going to become first come, first serve. We're trying to get at least 100 people to register and start earning salaries. I can't give too much information out because it's not out yet, but very, very soon you will get it. The new Thank You Cash app is also out. It's going to be live on the Play Store. Hopefully, if iOS and Android Play Store publishes it as soon as possible. It takes time. It takes forever right now to publish apps, but very soon it will be live. And probably by Friday, I'll be announcing the features of the app and what you can do with the app. And also, I'll be some free coupons on Friday. So you'll be getting coupons, you'll be getting vouchers on Friday, and you'll be able to, like, at least feed your family during this wrong period that we are, because I always call it wrong. Pandemic is not a good time to be alive. It's not really a good time. But we're going to go through it by God's grace, and we're all going to live through it, and we're going to be better for it. Thank you very, very much, Oluyomi, for coming into my studios. Thank you for giving. Welcome. Please rush to Oluyomi's Twitter handle, like him, friend him, connect with him, DM him, ask him questions, whatever you want. He is always there to help. Like I said, when I got into the valley, the first thing they told me was there's a guy called Oluyomi Ojo. He spoke highly of you. He was like, you guys have to be in the valley. And, so that already gave you like 50%. So sell yourself. And that was how we got into the valley. And right now we're enjoying it, and we're going to help other startups. So if you know anything you want, anywhere you want, anything you want to do, just make sure you come to, shoot me an email, connect with simeon@gmail.com. If you're joining a startup and you want me to do an intro for you, I'll be so happy to do it. Just make sure that you follow all the teachings we have. This is about our 17th episode. We've had about 16 lovely guys come into this house and tell you what to do, how to do it, where to do it. If you're running a startup and you want to get into the valley, you want to talk to some investors, I have an investors list. I'm happy to share it. I'm not holding any investors list. Investors list. If you want to join Founders Institute, I'm happy to work with you. My time is almost always impossible to reach, but if you can get on my calendar, I will be happy to share time with you. I have my 30-minute slots. I can always have you, and I can get my friends like Oluyomi to also talk to you. So thank you, Oluyomi, for coming in. This is
thank you very much.
To work and not get over disturbed by us. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
So that was Oluyomi Ojo, the founder at Printivo. He was, he was too open, too lovely to have in the studios. And just like we've been doing over time, same time next week, same time Friday, we'll have another wonderful guest in house. And also, like I said, I'll be giving out vouchers and coupons. If you don't have the Thank You Cash app, please go download the Thank You Cash app right now, because I will be sending vouchers directly to the app. The new app is going to be out hopefully before Thursday on the iOS and on the Android store, where you can get vouchers and lovely coupons from different merchants. Make sure you stick with us. Make sure you do it. I already have the app, and it's a lovely, lovely app. I can show you that app. I already have the app. It's a lovely app, and it will allow you to even buy directly from our merchants directly. And you will get cashbacks, you get coupons, you get freebies directly on the app. God bless you for joining today. If you have any questions, like I said, reach me, connect with Simeon@gmail.com. Thank you, every single person. I can't mention your names, the lovely, lovely people that have dropped into the house. I've spoken highly. I've seen entrepreneurs, I've seen businessmen, I've seen bankers, I've seen a lot of people joining. God bless you. Till we meet on Friday. On Friday, same time, 5 p.m. Friday. This is me saying ciao and God bless.
Look around you. Where you are right now, as you're watching this, look around your house. There are tools you have you're not using that can actually fetch you a whole lot of funds.
Forget about what people are saying. Don't listen to what people are saying. What people say about you or think about you is none of your business.
Many entrepreneurs want to build a business at the same time feed from the business. It cannot work. In Lagos,
but you just get to do something. Stop waiting for manna to fall from heaven.
never you at any point think you have 100% strength. It's not possible. So as a leader, you focus on your strength 100%, then your weakness, you get someone to fill it in. Now, the person you are bringing in, ensure that the person's weakness is your strength.
You have to come with something to the table. So what are you coming with as a woman? What are you bringing? Is it your intellect? Is it your beauty? We all know that beauty doesn't help anybody. If not, I'll be where Dangote is today.
Please, if you are listening to me, don't try and sell what is not sellable if you don't have the funds to push it.
Thank you for connecting with Simeon Ononobi today. Live sessions hold every Tuesday and Friday at 5 p.m. Please turn on post notifications for live updates.